Good afternoon. Today on the Wolf Report, amateur radio and field day. Let's check it out. Well, folks, I'm here. I haven't been at one of these in a long time. Today, we are out here nestled way back in the countryside, checking out the McKinney Amateur Radio Club. This is a field day site. Now, sure, back in school you had field day with races, soccer hops, beam tossing, high jumps, and all that stuff. But no, when you come to a amateur radio field day, you have amateur radio. And you have amateur radio operators. And there's one of my favorite hams right there. His name is Bob, K5CRX.
Good gracious alive. How are you?
I'm doing great, man.
I wouldn't expect you, but I'm glad you're here.
You weren't expecting me.
Right?
Well, there's that. But there's also some ham radio, and I haven't really played ham radio in a while.
That's all right.
So it's time to come out and see what's going on. Nestled out here in the countryside. Nice high spot.
We're really fortunate today with the wind being wind all day. We've got some good shade here with the pavilions and the trees, so it's been really good. I'm fixing to take this young lady and get her on the air right quick.
Well, that's fantastic.
Here we go. If you're filming, this is a good place to do that.
Well, that's what I'm doing, stuff. I'm reporting for the Wolf Report on YouTube. Let's see what's going on here with guys. And we've got
okay, ending Foxtrot, go ahead.
folks, if you see or not, on this Kenwood HF rig, he is on 14 megahertz. That is the 20 meter amateur radio band. Look at these awesome go boxes too. Now we're down here on 7 megahertz. He's operating on 40 meters. Band's probably a little bit short still. It's not late enough for 40 to really open up.
I have Sid's call sign in FT8. Oh.
And this is the latest and greatest in amateur radio right here. It is a mode called FT8. How you doing, Andy?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How's the band?
Pretty lousy.
Yeah, I'm seeing a head shake here. When an FT8 guy says the band is lousy, yeah, the band is lousy.
58 contacts all day.
Like QRM, or is it just nothing, just silence?
Lots of noise. Which is probably them. Yeah, it is him. 20 meters.
CW?
No. I think it's his phone.
I was hearing some CW in there.
We'll wait for the next cycle. Oh, we've got activity.
Okay, never mind. That's voice. That's bleed over. Let's go out here and take a quick look at what we got for antennas. That looks like a 20 meter Yagi. That looks like about a 10 meter Yagi. And we have the area appropriately cordoned off with yellow caution crime scene tape. A couple sections of Roan 25G perhaps. So let's take a walk over here. Oh, look at this setup right here. See, folks, with amateur radio, hams can get on the air with next to nothing. I mean, they can conjure up some junk from a construction site and make it into an antenna. Folks, this is a magnetic loop. So closing in on this, I'm sure you can, for guys that are handy and plumbing and all this, you recognize the copper tubing. And we got some, I guess that's gonna be 1/2 inch to 1 inch reducers up there. It's a little bit of 1 inch tubing with some sort of a Fenwick material between the two. Down here, you have a ferrite core. It's a transformer. You'll notice that the coax is not, there is no electrical connection between the coax and the actual antenna itself. Now I'm going to keep a little bit of distance here, a little bit of RF. RF burns are real. I've had my fair share. But basically you see the white wire from the negative, the shield of the coax going through the ferrite core, maybe a whole whopping 1 turn, and it comes down to the center conductor. So that is a direct electrical short. However, going through this transformer, it radiates surprisingly well. So let's walk over here. Now this is an interesting antenna someone could pull out of their backpack on a camera tripod. Super cantenna. Or no, yeah, super antenna. I thought that was a C at the front. Superantenna.com. I probably would not run legal limit through that. It would probably get a little bit melty. But there's a way of protecting your coax, is putting it through a series of pool noodles. You know, I gotta say one thing about amateur radio and hams in general. They sure can be awfully ingenious and crafty. But see, the other most important thing about amateur radio is the food.
Of course it is.
And so we have the grill masters over here. My God, those are some huge, those aren't brats, are they?
They're sausage.
Right there, sausage, okay.
Yes. But here's your question. How do you make a hamburger go to heaven?
How do you make a hamburger go to heaven? Put it in my stomach.
Burn the hell out of it.
Oh, well, I thought that was going to hell, but okay. A little bit more of a walk over here. Now the other thing I want to get here and show you folks, this is called a GOTA station, G-O-T-A. And on a GOTA station,
Okay, thank you, Gladys. Look forward to popsicle. We'll see you in a short. K5CRX, you're standing by.
and the purpose of a GOTA station is to get on the air.
W5MRC and Blue Bell has those,
So, with my advanced knowledge, I know that currently that radio is tuned to the McKinney Club's 2-meter repeater, 146.74. And they got a dual band J-pole antenna. See, that's the latest thing. That's called diagonal polarity. So that way, no matter what, you're halfway between vertical and horizontal, so you get the best of both worlds.
I'll definitely consider that, and especially in my case. Sugar-free, I should go, especially the time it's getting later. Thanks again.
I tell you what. If she lays down,
Well, folks, that's amateur radio in a nutshell today, which is across the entire country, is ARRL Field Day. I almost missed that part. ARRL, the Amateur Radio Relay League. It is the biggest ham radio club in the entire country. And I am, in fact, full disclosure, a life member of said club and have a long history with them in leadership positions within the state. Anyway, they say the bands are really in terrible shape, so maybe after you eat a hamburger they'll be better.
One more show and tell.
More show and tell? Sure thing.
I have a little VHF, UHF beam out just in case I wanted to talk.
Now that is a dual band Yagi.
Correct.
And we got, so each driven element, so it's split. I'm noticing, I think the feed line to the UHF Yagi might actually be longer than the one to the VHF. Are they both the same?
Oops, excuse me. It's, you know, I think they're about the same.
Okay,
it might be the same, yeah.
Okay. I didn't know if there's one that had to be electrically different or something like that, but
I think we compensate for it with the tuning, perhaps.
So the feed point of both of these, if they're both in parallel, so that's not a 50 ohm feed point? Or does the somehow having the having the split feed line still give you 50 ohms over here, even though you have 50 ohms there and there?
We still get 50 ohms and close to a 1-to-1 match, either VHF or UHF.
Huh.
Not sure exactly how they're doing, unless, again, like I said, it's the slide tuners that they're using, which compensates for that, perhaps. I don't know beyond that, but that's my guess.
Well,
That's right, yes.
I believe
know it certainly works good. I know that as well. It really works well.
I believe they call that a gamma match.
Gamma match.
Gamma
that's
match.
right. Yes.
Wow, I still remember my ham radio
You're
stuff.
doing good.
All the,
And of course, it's pretty. It's lightweight. You can carry it in one hand, hook it onto a pole, and point it the direction you want it to go. And,
so you got a pole right over there.
and
Get
I
tripod if you
have
need
a
it.
tripod there for that very purpose. As a matter of fact, you were mentioning the dipole up there, the ham sticks that we're using.
Yep.
I have a shotgun case over here that causes a lot of consternation if you go into a public event for amateur radio. The security guards see you coming in with a shotgun case and they automatically get excited. I don't know why. But then they're so disappointed when you open it up and it's got nothing but ham sticks in this shotgun case. But it's fun. You'll get a chuckle out of that every time.
That's probably because their life is boring and they're anything to spice it up. They think they're about to be
Anything for
important.
entertainment. Don't you know it? Of course, it's all fun. That's the good thing.
So what are we ham sticked up for right at the moment? 10 meters, 20 meters? I'm sorry?
40.
40. Wow, those are 40 meter sticks?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
You can't really see the windings that well. You have the coarse windings, and
So-
then toward the end, you have a whole bunch of
Really fine windings at that end of the ham stick. So,
That
yeah,
gives you the electrical length.
okay.
Of course, you tune it by moving the stubs in and out.
So folks, what that means is if I was to take an X-Acto blade and take the protective sheathing off, heat shrink tubing essentially, and grab that end of the wire and stretch it out that way as far as I could go, it'd be electrically 40 meters.
Correct.
So physically 40 meters, you can make it electrically 40 meters and still have a coil over there and it'll still resonate, and they work pretty damn well for what they are. Now it helps if the band isn't like completely sucking, and when I say suck, let's expand that to say it's bad, but also when you send RF into the band, it doesn't come back out. It's just disappearing. And we need this thing right now called sunspots, and maybe anything but a CME. And a CME is a coronal mass ejection. When one of those happens, it's over, folks. Just go home. Just pack it up. You're done. The band turns off. It's like literally you walk out and unscrewed your coax and threw it in the trash because the band just dies. There's nothing. You can't. The meter that tells your signal length goes. It's zero. Ask me how I know.
Voice of experience.
Been there, done that.
Yes.
I'll say that quick little story. I was working a field day at home one year. This is back when I had the big station in Flower Mound, and we had a CME, and literally it got quiet, and this happened within 60 seconds. It just all the voices just went away. Like I turned the RF gain down on the radio, and I started listening, going, what the hell just happened? Did my radio just die? And rolling the VFO from side to side across the band, there was nothing. And I checked the antennas, checked all this stuff, nothing. And I was finally, 10 minutes later, I hear a voice way out in the distance, somebody calling. So I have the big 3 kilowatt amplifier, so I flip it on, yell, hey, can you hear me? And he goes, yeah. I was like, can you hear anybody else? No, it's dead. It died. I said, well, okay, 3 kilowatts. I think I was working a guy. I was in Flower Mound. I think I was talking to him in Plano, 3 kilowatts. Anyway, so that's what's going on here at the McKinney Amateur Radio Club Field Day site 2022. Let's go over there and check out some bratwursts. We'll see you on the next one.